Are you having deals collapse and getting frustrated? John Carter here. I'm the broker and owner at Remax River City in Edmonton, Alberta, and we're seeing more and more deals go sideways and fall apart. And we want to do a quick video talking about kind of the four main areas that we see where things go wrong and how you can thus turn that around and put deals together and make your clients happy and make you more money in the process. So the main one we're seeing right now, if you talk about it from the buyer's perspective, it's most commonly people kind of newer to the industry, they haven't had a lot of coaching or training, and they don't know how to manage expectations. And fundamentally, that's at the core what you need to work with your client. So it's not enough to just meet them and go show them houses. You have to have a level of trust and have educated them about the process, tell them what the process is going to be before it happens, and then they're walking through. So we have a buyer presentation package, the kind of template that we give our realtors, and I know a lot of realtors have different versions that they use themselves, but really set the stage for what that process is going to look like. The second one right now that we're seeing a lot is financing. So a lot of deals go sideways on financing. Make sure that you're part of that conversation with their mortgage professional, and not just enough to ask, oh, are you pre-qualified for a mortgage? Well, what lender are you with? And have you given them your documentation? Have you provided them with your NOAs and T4s? Like, what extent of qualification is this? Are they working with one of the big 5 banks? Are they working with a mortgage specialist? Or are they working with a branch person? Unfortunately, the most factual reality is that the deals we see go sideways are when people are working with a branch contact. And so they can't be a specialist in mortgages. They don't know all the changing rules that happen all the time. And so things will, once they submit the live deal that they have made an offer, they've gone out, you've shown them 30 homes, and they finally find one they like, and then the deal goes sideways because the branch person didn't realize, oh, that we don't qualify based on this rule or this interpretation. So make sure that you're part of that conversation and you're really understanding what their financing requirements are before you're making an offer. So the second one is inspection. So we're seeing these days, it seems to be sort of an expectation that a 35, 40-year-old house is going to be like a new house, especially when it's often someone's first purchase, right? And so they're going through with this laundry list of items at the inspection that are easily viewable right at initial viewing. And so what's most successful realtors do is 2 times where they'll view the property. If they're viewing a lot of homes and they think, yep, that's the one, we remember this home and we want to make an offer on that one, and you should be kind of whittling people down, keeping a top 3 as you go. Another fun idea is to make a naming game of it so that they can remember their top ones at all times. So you say, okay, great, let's go back and look at that one again, and we're going to go through it in a little more detail. Instead of 10 minutes walking through the house just determining if you like it, let's take the extra time and look at all the major components. Look at the furnace room, look at the hot water tank, see how old those things are. Try to peek at the roof. Have your buyer's representative realtor ask those questions of the listing realtor. Is there anything we should be aware of? If they have concerns around any specific things like water in the basement or pest infestations, prior issues, any of that type of stuff, have them ask those questions directly before you make the offer, and then you're in a position to make an upfront educated offer, including your price and any terms that you put in there. So at that stage, then when you have your inspection, it's like anything that's unforeseen that you couldn't have otherwise known will come up at the inspection, and you obviously renegotiate at that time as a reasonable request if there's things that weren't otherwise disclosed. But to just make an offer, arbitrarily pick a price and off the asking price, get it accepted, and then they have an inspection and come back saying, oh, the hot water tank is 12 years into its 15-year life expectancy, we want you to replace it. It gets sellers frustrated because it's an unreasonable request. So make sure you're educated about that part. So on the other side is, on the seller representation side, is making sure that you're asking those questions and in some cases doing the job of the buyer representative realtor for them. So don't just ask, are your buyers pre-qualified? Ask those questions. What do they do for a living? Can you give me background on your buyer so I can sell them as a client to my seller? You know, what do they do for a living? When is it just them? And do they have kids, family? Who's planning to live in the home? When are they looking for possession? And what are their issues as far as financing and that? So making sure to drill down and understand who's the lender, how much are they putting down. Now they don't have to answer those, but you need to ask the questions so you can inform your seller around how qualified they are or what information the buyer is not willing to share, because that affects their decision making around offers, especially if they go into a multiple offer. So hopefully that helps. Feel free to add comments below with any other questions or issues you've faced, and the more open we can talk about these things, the better it is for the whole industry. So have success with dealing with offers and keeping them together.